All right, ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode, we had Sir Timothy, Farmer Michael, as you might know him as. He's doing a charity boxing match on September the 11th with Paddy Barnes, Olympic bronze medalist. And they're going fighting in wheelchairs. And it's going to raise some money for the Irish Wheelchair Association. And it's on September 11th. And please go along, it's in Galway. And he did a video for us when we were doing the run. And we had him on the podcast, and the man is a legend. He's an inspiration. So please check it out, guys. Like and subscribe as well. Wash your hands, hug your testicles. Good luck.
God, it's an awful windy
It
all
is,
day, Michael.
Look at this!
What?
Look at the state of these two Ludermans, Kathleen!
Oh no, Michael,
Look
no,
at them
no,
making
no,
them!
no.
Is it the gay parade already,
No,
Kathleen? Look
Michael,
at this.
they're the two
Look at
lads.
man with his jocks on!
No, they're the two lads from Mayo.
From Mayo!
Mayo.
So that's even where I eat from, Mayo!
Michael.
Build a wall back to Mayo, Witchy!
Michael,
You
no.
dirty old
Michael,
fartners,
Michael,
Kathleen.
they're
Do a
doing...
great job.
I think they'll fail, Kathleen, because they're failures. That's why,
What would you say
Kathleen.
if they were here?
I'd turn them deaf off away from around me, Kathleen. That's what I'd say. Oh, Michael.
How we know, Michael? Are you well?
Well done, lads. You're going to do it. I wish you well.
Thanks a million.
Hey, in seriousness, it's
Yes.
a great thing that they're doing.
It is, says Steveo, not Michael.
Yes,
Yeah, and thanks very much to these guys for
Doing a video.
getting the word across.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
And we're
brilliant.
going running from Dublin to Mayo in 3 days. Yeah.
So, lads, support the lads, support Beaumont. It's a brilliant cause, and well done to them. And
Best of luck.
as usual, it's unfortunate that they're from Mayo. But look, come on, we
Tell
can't
me
all
this
be
much,
perfect.
We'll go with beat Mayo this year.
Right, it's time to cut the video now.
At least they're not naked pictures of yourself.
Oh, geez, wait to see the other room, lads. I'm telling you.
Fair enough.
Ripping.
Very, very quick, very witty.
Some guy was telling me, what's your man that did, what was that music? It was fucking very fucking crazy music. Something bells.
Cobain.
No, not Cobain. It was something bells. It was real synthetic music, synthesized. And
Mike Oldfield, Tubular Bells.
that could be it. Yeah, that could be it. But apparently they did work in his house in England. Apparently there's a load of pictures of him in the nip, just on the wall.
He's my hero, that man.
That's another level of narcissism.
To find all these like weird rooms in my gaff with like pictures of me and shit that doesn't make sense. So they go like you'll have psychologists trying to get into my mind to see what he was thinking before he shot all those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was tubular bell. Michael, that was him. Yeah, couldn't think of the name. But yeah, apparently the guys are doing work, and he had one room specifically just for naked pictures of himself. So you haven't gone that far yet, but you're getting up there. You're nearly as famous as them.
Give me time. I bet you the builders knocked one out when they spotted it.
Listen, Steve, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for fucking having me.
Too nice. We go back a few years. You give us a big dig out a couple of years ago when we were doing the the Dublin to Mayo run, and you've a charity event coming up yourself.
I do. I'm some would say foolishly fighting Paddy Barnes, the former double Olympic medal winner.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How did you even think of that?
It was a weird one. Like, I was on Twitter and I done wheelchair karate, believe it or not. So I'm a purple belt in wheelchair karate. It is a thing. It exists.
Right.
Look at my wall to tell you all you need to know about it. But and fighting outside Air Square at 3:30 on a Saturday morning. But I just put up a tweet. Is there anyone out there that'd be interested in doing a bit of like MMA or wheelchair boxing? And Paddy Barnes got back to me and he goes, in his inaudible accent, he goes, "I fucking have an age." So I was like, "Yeah, that sounds. Would you do it?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I DM'd him and we were like, "Let's meet up and let's do it." And I said, "Do you know what we could do? We could have this as a charity event. I'll go up to Belfast. We'll meet in a car park. We'll have a few slaps in wheelchairs. We get Roxy to record it. If we raise a couple of grand, 2 or 3 grand, then so be it." So then,
Brilliant.
we kind of, one or two other people wanted to get involved, and then it kind of Jesus Christ, it kind of exploded then. You know what I mean? Some of the people we have interested in it, but taking part as well is just kind of extraordinary. So it's kind of bloomed.
That's what happens when you have such a big profile. These things can just snowball and roll down and
I was
create
going to
some
say
brilliant.
what happens when you're a stubborn bollocks. No for an answer.
You got to be.
You know
I said you got to be a bit of a lunatic to volunteer to get slapped around by Paddy Barnes, Olympic bronze medals.
It might be the other way around.
It's a bit of stupidity, but like I always say, don't underestimate me. He is a lot more to know. If he baits me to death, he looks bad. If I beat
That's
him
true.
to
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
it's win-win.
That's
Like,
true.
you know what I mean? I'll fall out of the wheelchair and I'll start dribbling, and I'll have spasms up the top. I'll make him look shit. If I'm defeated, I will make him look bad.
So, Steve, give us dates. When is it and where is it?
September the 11th, Clayton Hotel, Galway, 9:00 kickoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be whatever they call that, simulcast on like my YouTube live and Facebook live, and it'll be on the website live and all that. So it'll be, and it's not pay-per-view or not. Anyone can join in, watch the stream. But as long as you donate a couple of quid, then we won't harass you.
Brilliant. Hopefully there won't be a terrorist attack when on September 11th.
But that's what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking that some of the ISIS members of the Galway community might like have remote controlled airplanes, and they might just hit the side of the hotel very fall down by the side. You know what I mean? So yeah, but like I said before, like these towers are about to come down on Paddy's brains. You know what I mean? So
Brilliant.
you'll probably have to cut that now because I get a lot of hate from my American fans. My God, that's disgusting. But I make jokes about the IRA, and that's fine.
Caliphate nowadays.
Oh yeah, Galway's been taken over. Like we all know that. Jim O'Doherty said that. Like she, you know what I mean? Like she knows that woman. Jesus.
And tell us this. Is there somebody else fighting as well? Or is it just you?
Alfor and Darren Conway, Fabodi and Dylan Moran, Artem Lobov and Paddy Houlihan. Jesus Christ. John Connors and Lindsay. And one or two more that escapes me. I apologize.
Wow.
It's
So you
breaking.
you have a full card there.
Full card. It's breaking my heart. Breaking my heart that the All Ireland is on the same day.
I know, you damn Mayo. The only thing we're missing out on. The only thing we're missing out on is the old naked women oil wrestling. But we might squeeze it in there at some stage.
Save that for the rematch. I was actually in Galway yesterday, and I was meant to stay there a few hours more than I was meant to, but I got called back to Castlebar. But there was a buzz, like people were asking me about it, so there is like people are talking about it on the streets.
Oh,
so,
definitely, yeah. It's kind of, I suppose, because it's an unusual thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of unusual, and like it's kind of, I'm grateful in a way that like, because no one had ever heard of wheelchair boxing, which it is quite a big thing. But no one's ever heard of it. So people are thinking now that I've invented it. And I'm like, no. Jesus, don't. Like, there's people out there that have been doing this for years. You know what I mean? So don't credit me with anything. I just decided that it'd be cool to bring it to Galway, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or Ireland.
That's cool. That's cool. You're bringing so many people to Galway too. That's cool.
100%.
Oh yeah, so you have to bring people out to the stakes. You know.
What is it? You might as well tell us what it's for as well.
Oh, it's in aid of the Irish Wheelchair Association.
Yeah, you done something. You done something last year as well. You cycled.
Yeah, I cycled 5 kilometers on an actual bicycle.
Yeah.
But I managed to do it, and yeah, because I go back a long way with them. Like obviously, I use a wheelchair myself, and I walk on crutches as well. And my mother was in a wheelchair, God rest her, and they were very good to her. So it was my kind of a tribute to her and a tribute to them for being good to her. So this kind of, there's deeper meaning there, and there's a lot of family history as well. So
100%. But
you raised a massive amount of money during the cycle, didn't you?
63.5 grand. So that was
Jesus.
Yeah. It was,
wow.
It was a big event last year. And remember that was in lockdown as well.
Yeah.
That was at the beginning of it. Yeah. So it's tough enough. But like we had shout outs from Tyson Fury, Gary Lineker, Freddie Flintoff. And it's mad, like these people donating to the Irish Wheelchair Association and mentioning the Irish Wheelchair Association. Like the vast majority of the donations came from Britain.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
kind of show. Well, I don't know if it showed us up. It didn't really show us up. I suppose it just shows that I have a large following over there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
With the proud community. You know. So.
Of course.
And look, if it helps globalize or internationalize the Irish Wheelchair Association, because people will be going, is there an English one? Who does it over here? And you know, so look, myself and my kind benefit at the end of the day. You know, my kind, my ranks.
It's not easy. It's not easy, Steve, putting together these events.
Oh, it's fucking stressful.
It's very stressful. Like, why do you do it? Why do we do it, or why do you do it?
I don't know. Yeah, because you've done one yourselves, and you know how hard it can be to get someone to throw up an old video or retweet it, or you know what I mean, get word out there, or even in the media. You have links with the media, but they'll just not interested or no reply, and you're like, Jesus. But if I done a video shouting, you'd be interested, and you know. So it's like I come up with the mad ideas, but Roxy's the one behind it all, doing all the nitty gritty. She's here. Have you forgot that? And I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I noticed. All right, chatting to you.
To kind of think of the little things. Think of having order Malta there in the night. Do you have a bell? Do you have cards between the rounds? The entrance music. You know what I mean? So she's the one she's the one basically running the show. I'm just coming up with the crazy ideas, I suppose. You know, so I have to give her a shout out.
And is it outside? No, it's inside. It's inside.
It's inside, yeah.
Okay.
Because we need Paddy to be able to get emergency treatment very fast. So we want, you know what I mean? Bringing the Order of Malta to stand around him in the ring, but you know what I mean?
I hope
he's okay. You know what I mean? Like I'll slap him around the place a bit. I'll play with him, but I don't want to hurt him too bad. These parents are going to come back to fucking haunt me, aren't they?
How's the training been?
The training's been crazy. Like I started off initially just kind of doing a bit of boxing with my trainer, Derek Hurley, and Cathal Manning. He's a coach in Galway. He's a well-known fighter in Galway. And then every kind of Saturday, then I was up with John Redmond, well-known UFC fighter. Then I was up to Katie Taylor's dad, Pete. Then I ended up going up to Crumlin to Peter Sutcliffe, to Conor McGregor's boxing coach. Then Wednesday gone, I was up to John Kavanagh, Conor's coach. Then Saturday, I was up to Anton Lubov, a well-known fucking big in the fighting world. And then tomorrow morning, I'm back up to him and Paddy Houlihan. So it's like, you know, even if this only raised 500 quid, like to look back in 20 years and go, geez, I trained with all these lads. You know what I mean? That's history there, and that's their memories that, like, you know, I suppose that in my selfish way, that's kind of my payback. You know what I mean? Because
of course,
and it's extraordinary. You know what I mean?
Of course, like when me and Pete and Chris was support, you know, the support crew, like they even though we were doing it for a charity, we got we made such memories. We made so many good friends that we'll never lose. And you know, and look back in that, and to say that we done Dublin to Mayo, and then we done the Mayo Coast, you know, it's an experience of a lifetime. You wouldn't do that like going to the pub. Like anyone can go to the pub.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And people can be very generous when they on social media. That's using social media for a positive thing instead of negative all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. We're inundated with negativity on Facebook and Twitter and just the internet in general. It's like it's kind of the abode of like the toxic traits of humanity. So it's nice. It's nice to drag out the good out of people, the good that we all know is there.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Humans are good at the end of the day. They're, you know,
they're brilliant. But humans have
dog, they'll bite back, you know, and
we have the capacity to be so, you know, to be so brilliant as well as being horrible. We have, everyone has the capacity to be generous. But then again, you get the people that are hiding behind the keyboard, faceless, putting out nasty messages, you know, the whole works. Like even like that we're doing live shows again. Like, you know, I know that there's people getting messages about, oh, I can't believe you're supporting the discrimination with venues. You know, these shouldn't be attended. It's ridiculous. I mean, we're doing what we were born to do, what we love.
piss with the cock you got.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no one's discriminating against nothing. You just work with what you got, like, you know.
We're trying to make a living. Jesus Christ, none of us have really earned in the last 2 years. Like people, when you think I'm a multi-millionaire, they're like, "Oh, he's loaded, that fella." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on the fucking disability allowance. I'm fucking raking it in." You know, the live shows paid your way, and I haven't done one since March 2021. So that's out.
That's
and
it
done.
exactly. Yeah, that's it exactly. Yeah.
And the savings went to nothing because you were still paying back because you were in the middle of the course. You were still to pay certain things that came out of the earnings that you were, you know, because you're counting, we'll have gigs in the UK in a month, so that will pay this for that. And then when that didn't happen, it was like, fuck, here we go. You know what I mean? Bollocks. So, so.
It's not
when you're visible on the internet or on telly or whatever, people just automatically assume you're loaded and you're a millionaire. So.
100%. It's like a question that often gets asked. I don't know if you get it asked, Pete, but like, and I was only a satellite character in the Hardy Bucks, and it's like you must have made a ton of money from when it turned to Netflix. I was nothing to do with me.
I was having a couple of pints. I was having a few pints with Tom the last day, and he was like, this lad was on to Martin, and he was like, "You boys were given the golden key, the key to the kingdom," and he's just like, "Well, it's not as simple as that.
Not at all.
You're not doing it now, you know." As simple as that.
Yeah, people always ask me. They're like, "Did you make a lot of money out of that Hardy Bucks?" And I go, "Yeah, I made $1 million quid." And they look at me for a second, and they're like, "Did not? Did you?" I was like, "No, I didn't."
I always get asked about like, how much does Facebook pay you then? Is it like 1,000 per 1,000 views? And you're like, are you fucking mad? I've been around in a Bentley made of fucking diamonds if that was the case. I complain about cars give me trouble, and people would comment like, "You're buying a new one," and I was like, I'd be in it if I had that ability. Complaining that I can't afford to fix my fucking car if I could afford to buy a brand new car. You know what I mean? And they think YouTube, then they think you are, you know, you must be raking it in YouTube. And you're like, firstly, YouTube pay fuck all. Secondly, if a lot of your most watched videos are unmonetized, you get nothing. So you know what I mean? So it's like, but look, you strive on, and look, it's kind of what we do, is, you know, and it's therapy for us too. You know what I mean?
100%. It's like as Pete would say, it's a creative itch that you need to scratch.
Yeah. You feel that 100%. Like, Jesus, that'd be funny now, and you have to throw it up. You know what I mean? So
something to look forward to. Say if you've got an idea for a video in the next week or the next 2 weeks, you're actually going to put that into fruition.
Exactly. Yeah, and see it, and like, and that positive. To see it doing really well on one of your social media channels, but then there's the counter to that when you put up a video and you see it doing really poor, and you feel fucking down. You feel like packing it all in, deleting everything.
But sure, look,
I remember at the beginning we put up a video and I'd refresh it, and it'd be 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes, and then you'd put up a video maybe that Friday, and you'd barely reach the 1,000 likes or whatever, and you'd literally feel really down.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of the beast. That's
you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Yeah, you can't have your self-esteem reflecting your Facebook likes. You know what I mean? That's the thing. But deep down, we do, because we put so much work. Like, we could put so much work into a video, the three of us, and then we could show up a picture of Sam and talk about his willy, and it'd go blow up all over the place. You know what I mean? We're like, where's the justice there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
In fairness, like, you know.
We'll insert it. So it's just like we've worked on a couple of videos that were brilliant, and threw them up, and they're just tricky. Whereas I done one about salt and vinegar the other day, and it just went fucking nuts.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's hard to know sometimes. Like, I've done plenty of videos over the years. I was like I didn't even. I was like, nah, that's I'm not even going to post that. And then, sure, fuck it, I need to get something up, so I threw it up. And like that, one of them was just pronouncing Metallica wrong. And it was my largest viewed video on Facebook history. You know what I mean? It got, I'd say, like, between Sport Bible and Unilad and Unilad Australia and everything, I'd say easily like 250 million views.
That's
Wow.
absolutely mental.
Wow.
I had no interest in putting it up. I didn't even like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
One you'd
That's the
really
thing.
work hard on then, and you get nothing, and you're like, you stupid bastard. So you get angry after all.
Yeah.
You're like,
It must be the algorithms.
Oh,
It must be
it
the
is, yeah.
algorithms or something.
Sometimes,
yeah, it's Facebook, man. I'm telling you, that's the reason. You know what I mean?
but sometimes you can be too clever.
You know
Sometimes
what it is? Oh, it is, yeah, or the time. Jeez, I posted that at the wrong time. You use that to kind of get the escape route out of it, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But it is.
Tell us
it
this,
is a
Steve-O.
vicious beast.
Tell us this, Steve. When did you get started in the comedy? When was your first video? When did you do?
About 6 years ago, and I was sitting in the car with my brother in Ayr Square, and the fella was called Farmer Martin, and that was my first video. And I had it on my phone for a while. I had 3 or 4 of them, and I had it on my phone for a while, and I decided to throw it up on Facebook for the crack, and that began the fucking.
Wow.
What made you change it to Farmer Michael?
I just thought Michael sounded a better name when I said Michael instead of Martin, Farmer Martin. I don't know. I just thought Michael was better. And then I done the video where I kind of called out Conor McGregor for stealing my style, and that's the kind of first one that went viral.
I think that's the first one. I remember I was living in Clamars at the time, and I was sat up at the breakfast. I had an island, and it was a marble.
You took on island.
$30 paid well, I tell you.
Yeah, big money in there. Big money.
I was on the private jet with Naomi Campbell. Naomi, as I call her, you know.
But that's the one I watched that one, and then it was just brilliant. I love that humor, and then the other one was I think later was one with you washing the dishes, and that one just caught me where you were washing the dishes and show you.
I really liked at the beginning because you had more anonymity because you didn't need to build up the self-brand yet. So people still thought that Michael was a real person, that this person was really like this. So I had great self-satisfaction out of that.
Yeah.
And obviously people got to know, and you have to build up Steveo Timothy as opposed to Farmer Michael. So then I don't know if the veneer kind of came off with that, but I had great crack with people thinking that, do you ever see this cunt? The girlfriend does videotape him up in Ayr Square, like, and they thought it was a real person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I suppose it's a testament to the strength of the character too, isn't it? That people believe. Some people still believe to this day, and they get upset when I talk like this. Like,
that's what I was about to ask you next. I think some people don't differentiate between the character and the person.
No, they don't at all, and they can react pretty abysmally to it sometimes. Like, so you're putting it on then, and you're like,
they feel cheated sometimes. They feel cheated because they feel like they know you.
They'll still ask for a picture, but might mutter something under their breath walking away. Then, you know what I mean? But I don't think ever. I don't know if anyone has experienced this, but shouted, you cunt, by so many people in a positive way. I tell you, cunt, you know, the thumbs up and stuff. So many times have been called a cunt. So that's a beautiful turn of events.
It's the word cunt is a term of affection, a term of endearment in West of Ireland.
My old friend used to call me little cunty. It was never a bad word here. Like, should you know that? Oh, that old cunt down the road, he's a miserable cunt, or that cunt of a wrench will cut the hand off you. It was never a thing targeted at a female. Never.
Yes.
No, 100%.
I mean, it was always like you were more likely to call a man a cunt than a woman.
I remember being at a wedding in Manchester. I don't know if I told you this before, but I was at a wedding in Manchester when we were in a marquee, and the band was playing in the background, and it was a loud band. And I was telling a story to a bunch of there were Mayo Galway people, and whatever way I finished off the sentence, I said, and it was cuntish. But as soon as just before I said the word cuntish, the band stopped playing, and I was of course loud because I was trying to talk over the band.
So it just sounded like you called the band cuntish.
I just all everyone could hear was cuntish, and the rest of them
Oh,
were all
shoot.
Manchester and London and every place like that. And there was a few Greeks as well. And next thing, I could feel every head just turning and looking at me.
I love that.
Oh, it was horrible.
And I would think cuntish is one of those Irishisms that when we beautify a curse word,
Yeah.
like fuck, we turned into shit.
Yes.
You know, cunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have that magical way of doing it. You know what I mean?
That's
Like, you know, cunts, English. You know, we just have that beautiful way of doing things. You know.
Yeah.
I remember I was in a bar one time and there was an old man there and he had a little puppy with him. This old man, and he was shouting at the puppy. He was like, "Harry, get down, you little cunty." And it was so endearing and so lovely that there was no hate or derogatory in it. You know what I mean?
Like we proper cunts need to take the phrase back. It's stolen from us decent cunts, and it's been exploited, and it's time for us proper cunt people to take it back and use it in its proper sense.
I don't think we've used the word so much in the podcast ever.
No. It's cuntish.
I use it in my videos quite a lot. But
I think in the Hardy Bucks we were only allowed a few per season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a few per season, I think it was. We were only allowed so many, but I think if you use it too much, it kind of lost its punch. Do you know what I mean?
It does. I try and just fit I try and fit it in where it's funny. I'd never say it in an angry sort of way.
Yeah. I try to use it in its most incisive way, most cutting way. Like, I get a lot of shit from it. People basically wouldn't let their teenage children watch it because I use the C word. Or people wouldn't watch it because, I can't stand him because he keeps saying the C word. You know what I mean? And so then I started using it more. It's like when a few advertisers got onto me and they said, we'd like to work with you, but if you could clear up the accent a bit and stop the cursing. So I cursed more, and that's when I started mispronouncing words on purpose to make the accent more insightful. So I've always been one of them fuckers that just self-sabotage. So I've never got that advertising to each other. Like Lufthansa got onto me one day, Lufthansa Ireland, and their CEO or whatever was a Mayo man, and they wanted me to perform at his bash or whatever. But then 2 days later, I done a video about Hitler invading Mayo in the 1980s. That was that contract gone. That was gone. That gig was gone straight away. I had a big long email the next day. So it's always been like, Jesus, why do I do this? You know what I mean? Why do I do it?
A lot of your videos skirt on on the edge. You know,
yeah.
And you I know that you've got a lot of shit for some of them. How do you deal with that? How you getting on, Jamie?
Night, Jamie. See you, Jamie.
Good night, Jamie.
Good night, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Keep up the singing, mate.
Yeah. No, Jamie. Night. See you, Jamie. See you tomorrow. Jamie had to come in for his little cameo there.
Very good.
Brilliant.
Very good. Brilliant.
Dead right.
He means a lot to you, Steve.
Yeah. Jesus, yeah. I'd kill and die from.
Yeah.
That's
Brilliant.
going back
Tell us this. Go back to your question, Cowboy. Go back to your question.
Yeah, living on the edge.
You know, how do you deal with that backlash? Like, I remember you put up the Palestinian one, and you got a lot of backlash for that
the
one.
funny thing is, most of the backlash was from pro-Palestinians in Ireland, who didn't seem to get it at all. But they're the same people that would comment under a Waterford Whispers article. Yeah. You know, so there's not really much you can do about them. Like, you know, I done one before about parking in disabled spots, and that I was saying like that, you know, because Michael's a man of the 50s, you know what I mean? And I was like, look, you know, the children should be kept in the homes, disabled children, so we don't have to see them. And if you're going to bring out your disabled child, will you cover her with a tarpaulin so I don't have to look at her and be uncomfortable? You're trying to mix humor. You're trying to mix humor because you're obviously trying to make people laugh, but you're also trying to mix it with a reality for a disabled person before, and the reality today of some people being extremely uncomfortable around people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get out. But I was attacked left, right, and centre. I had to go off social media for 3 days. I was getting emails and everything, and then I done the one about Down syndrome. So basically, the title was "Down syndrome people can be cunts too." And I had to contemplate whether I was going to put that up. And it's basically the essence of it is Michael's an idiot. He got 3 in the Leaving Cert, whereas my nephew, who was Down syndrome, got 600 and he's going to Trinity. And I can't stand it because he's going around there being snooty and smart. So I'm the idiot, but he's a cunt because he's smart.
Yeah,
you know, so it's kind of
it's like reverse psychology sort of thing.
Yeah, they're human, so they can be cunts too.
Yeah.
Why the person that we could only say that a person with Down syndrome would never be a cunt, then we're imputing this angelic thing on them.
Yeah.
They're human like us. And every human has the ability to be nice or be a cunt. So why shouldn't anyone with a learning disability or a physical disability have that inside them? And thankfully, it didn't backfire. And I had a load of messages from parents of kids with Down syndrome. And I was invited up to the Galway Down syndrome golf outing and everything. So thankfully, that one didn't backfire. But obviously, with the parking one, you're worried that it'll be right in the arse. But it didn't. So, you know, you come up with these ideas. And I'd say to Roxy, like, I think I'm going to do one, and she's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And then, like, when I flesh it out a bit in the car, then she'd be kind of like, "Yeah, I get you." You know what I mean? So it's So
you be nervous. You be nervous before you put one up.
It depends on the topic. If it's just an old Everington one or a bit of toilet humor, you don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're not getting a satirical slant in on that. You're not getting a bite in on Israel or a bite in American foreign policy or Boris Johnson or Leo Varadkar or class system. So them ones are grand. But when it's one where you are trying to get a satirical point across, you're nervous about that because you're nervous about how people will take it and will people like you were saying with the Palestinian one where I had the pro-Palestinians attacking me and you're like, can you not see I'm attacking Israel in that video? Like you watch the video again and you're going, no, still can't see it. I can't see it.
But
I can't see where they're possibly picking this up.
Some people just want to complain about something. Some people just want to have something to fight for.
Yeah. And you can't accommodate that.
No. And you can't argue. But you cannot argue with fools.
Hugging a teddy for 60 seconds in the video, and someone would still complain about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the same people that are going to be attacking you for those topics, if they saw you on the street, they'd be wanting a selfie and telling you you're a amazing fella.
Yeah. Do you ever get that where like someone comes over for a selfie and there's drunk girls with them or a drunk fella, and they ask for a selfie too, but they're saying like, who is he? But they still want the selfie because their friend or someone near them has told you that this fella's famous or he's known. So they still want the selfie. So they still want that clout, but they have no idea who you are. So that's like, it shows our mad celebrity obsessed culture.
They're fear of missing out. It's fear of missing out. They're afraid to miss out something.
Yeah. It's like, but it's that whole celebrity obsessive culture that has kind of come over from the States and stuff. Whereas before we wouldn't give a shite. You know what I mean?
No.
And unfortunately, sometimes we let it be known we don't give a shite.
Please on the telly.
I actually watched, I think it was for like 20 minutes, and don't judge me on this. I think Pretty Things it was called. It was about Instagrammers and the program was about influencers. Like it was a series, but it's a horrible program. It's just dog eat dog. Everyone wants to get the best picture up, and it's just horrible.
I despise them people. I despise them female influencers. I despise, like, fair play to their business acumen and Suzanne Jackson and all them spastics, but I despise them. I despise everything they stand for because you are basically selling inadequacy and future mental illness to young girls that mightn't fit in with the cultural stereotypical norm of beauty. Like, you know, and you're selling them your panacea to cure your ugliness by buying my fucking makeup or buying my crap that's made in China for $1 a pack that you're selling for 39. You know, I couldn't ever see myself selling crap. I'd rather be morally rich and
that weird trend has kind of seeped into the way tech has actually produced Instagram and the filters that people can actually physically change their face.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's scary.
On their phone, and you're like, this isn't actually you. But you know, it's...
Look at me, for instance. I'm a 6'8" black man.
Lying down.
So, like, that's the power of social media. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but social media is kind of like it's keeping up with the Joneses. It's like it's fickle and it's weak and it's likes and. But the good thing is that you can use it for good, like you're going to do with the We Share fundraiser, which is brilliant. But I have another question for you. When did you start doing the live shows, and how did you find the progression from the videos to the live shows?
I saw people used to email and message me and ask me would I play at this bar or would I play at this venue, and I used to go, basically, get the fuck away from me. I am never doing this live. But then pressure kind of came on, and we were down at some gig one night, and Johnny Graham, he's a fellow Galway comedian, he runs the Dewdrop Inn, the comedy club. So he threw me on stage, and that was the start of it then. And I was ready to ring an ambulance. I was having full on panic attacks on stage, you know what I mean? And before and after. But then I started writing it then in a more kind of, in a more set way and in a more, so what we initially decided was that I'd be getting interviewed, a kind of fake interview. So my co-host a book, like an interviewer, and basically asking Michael's opinions on certain topics. And then kind of that was, it was going really good and it was going well. And then everyone would be all shouting up, do the Oscar Pistorius one, or do the Mayo blah, blah, blah one, or do that. So we eventually had to kind of introduce a few of the classic sketches into it as well.
Greatest hits. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. You know, so we ended up getting that into it. And I remember like doing the first few comedy festivals, and I remember being up in Bray Comedy Festival, and the organizer, I forget his name now, Jesus, he'll stab me, Adam Burke, and he just
Adam Burke, yeah.
And he gave us 10 minutes. Jesus Christ, I nearly shot myself. I was like, 10 minutes? Well, how are we going to spread this out for 10 minutes? But then like within 6 months, you're doing an hour of it, you know what I mean? And you can easily do it, and in your mind, you know what the next person, what's going to happen, and you have it pure rote, and you can, once you're comfortable with your set, then obviously someone catches your attention in the audience, or something like, because when you're in Michael mode, anything could pop into your head. Yeah. Like I'll be doing the set and I look down at something on the ground, a thumbtack or something, and I'll just make up a story for 5 minutes about how my auntie was attacked by a giant thumbtack in Liverpool or some crap, you know what I mean? So you just, and then if you get a good response for that, it's like, that's getting in the next set. You know what I mean? So we learned as we went, and we're lucky that we didn't have that negativity, because we had the luxury of not being playing to an average comedy club. We were playing to people that came to see us. Yeah. So they understood what we were doing. So we got to hone our set around the people that were our fans already. So that was
and that makes it so much easier, because they're there to see it. They're on your side.
Yeah, they wanted you to like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you have the odd time, obviously, when a boyfriend drags a girlfriend that hates you, or a girlfriend drags a boyfriend that hates you. And when I say people that hate me, they don't hate the character now. They don't hate any of the other characters they do. You know what I mean? There's people out there that basically want to see you dead because you do a comedy sketch online. And they know nothing about you, nothing about your family, your background. They just, because they don't like the character you portrayed, they want you dead. But if I was an actor playing a character in a movie, they wouldn't want me dead because the actor, the role I played. Yeah. Even if they didn't like the character. Yes. But in comedy, they can't differentiate that.
100%. Sometimes people have a hard time subtracting fiction from reality. I remember there was a bus driver in Swinford, and Owen Colgan was on the bus. And a fight broke out outside the bus, and the bus driver said to me the next day, he goes, "That Owen Colgan book, he didn't jump out. He didn't jump into the fight. You know what I mean?" And I said this to Owen, and he was like, "Why would I jump into the fight?" Just because he was doing that, the hard man videos with the punches.
Yeah.
What would he do? Risk assaulting somebody just to live up to the character, you know what I mean? But
it's like someone having a big emergency on their farm and giving me a ring. You know what I mean? I was in a state in the middle of West Side. I seen a farm when I went to my Mayo relatives in fucking Claremore. You know, back in the back arse of Shaheen. You know what I mean?
Did you ever think about doing TV work, Steve?
It kind of like, I'm always just seen as too controversial.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's only recently that it's almost trusted me as not being an ignoramus to go on telly and shouting like the word cunt at a 4-year-old. You know what I mean? It's only now that they're like, okay, so he is normal, he can talk. You know what I mean? Which is kind of depressing. But again, maybe it's just a testament to the strength of the character that they would even do or whatever. But I don't like. I'm in between shit at the moment. I don't know what I want to do with myself. Really, you know what I mean? It's kind of.
Well, I think the restrictions in the lockdown might have brought that on, whereas the live shows have left a massive gap. In time.
And we don't know what to do with ourselves. Will it be the same when we go back? People are more apprehensive now about investing in a ticket because they don't know what's happening, and it's hard to say. So then I have my Facebook account restricted. My page is restricted. So
what happened? What happened there? It was taken off altogether.
They deleted it fully. I woke up one morning and I said, your Facebook page has been removed for community guidelines, repeated community guideline, blah, blah, blah. So got onto them and got onto someone on LinkedIn that worked in Facebook, put in an internal review or request. So then he goes, right, good news, you can get the page back. It was a false positive. So if I didn't have him, it was gone. That's my career finished.
like a test.
Have a good night and good luck to you. So it was
who made the decision? Who made the decision to delete it?
Some boss, was it?
Some boss or some like Facebook. Facebook is one of them all-consuming things. It is everywhere, but it is nowhere. Like you try and contact someone in Facebook, and you will
yes.
You know what I mean? So it's one of them things, and so eventually they republished the page, but they left the restrictions on it. So I've no reach, and like Facebook was my biggest channel, and 95% of my tickets would have been sold through that. So God knows what's going to happen now in the new tour in January. So it remains to be seen.
See, the thing about I always said it with even charity links. You can do all the work on Instagram, and everyone will love it. But for some reason, to sell tickets or to get people to donate, it's awful hard to make people do that from Instagram, where it's 10 times easier to do it from Facebook.
So it's like adding any external link to Facebook, you're not going to get the same traction because Facebook recognizes it's an external link and they restrict the amount of it. Once you're on Facebook, their only job is to keep you on Facebook.
But the beauty with Facebook was you could set up an event. And then you could boost that event.
Yes.
Target that in. Say I'm playing in the Royal Theatre in Castlebar or whatever. I can put in Mayo 16 to 45 and throw 50 quid at that or 100 quid at that and let it do its work for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the beauty of that.
It has its benefits as well.
Yeah, and because I'm restricted now, my ads account is restricted too. So I can't boost anything.
Yeah.
So I'm following that quandary.
Is there an end to it? Is there a light at the end? Like, have they given a time where it'll be unrestricted?
Well, I managed to talk to one person, and she just goes, just abide by the guidelines and give it some time. Okay. So, like, does that mean 6 months, a year? No, who's
I know Martin Ward is having the same trouble. I seen there.
Yeah, he was threatened. Yeah. He's on the red as well.
Yeah, so, which I don't get, because like he wouldn't be as controversial as you. Or he wouldn't.
No, not at all. No. But like the one on Facebook said to me as well, look, it's a mixture of bots and reporting. So people are reporting. People don't like it. People can go really out of their way to report a lot of things and set up other profiles and report them and get family members and log into their sister's account and report various stuff. And you know how the algorithm works. Let's say there's 50 report complaints about this one for hate speech or whatever. It reaches the target of 43 or whatever, and then they pull it. You know what I mean? And then they'll give you a warning, and then if it happens again, they might give you another warning, and then you're gone. Yeah. So it's weird.
But TikTok is even worse. Like, we got the first TikTok page we put up, we got banned off it without. They didn't even give us a chance to
fight the case.
Yeah. Mine, I had 100,000 on mine, and it's gone. Yeah. So I had to start a new one again. So that was, you know what I mean? So my Facebook is just gone, and then my TikTok was gone. And I was like, Jesus.
The only thing with TikTok is it is only good for like getting your face out there. It's no good for links or anything like that. So
if you're one of them huge ones that just dances around the place, it's monetarily beneficial for you, but
So how are you feeling about the gigs in January? You said you're doing a tour in January, is it?
I'm just dying to get back and see how crap I am after all this time off, how rusty I'll be. But I suppose the beauty of the kind of chaotic nature of the set anyways, that no one will probably really tell the difference if I make a ball. And then they'll be more forgiving anyway, you know.
My opinion on live shows, Steve, is that people will be just cannot wait to get back to live shows, especially if the restrictions are being lifted completely.
I think people will be late to buy tickets though.
Yeah,
they're going to be.
We're doing one in Newbridge at the end of September, and it's sold out. It's sold out already. So
yeah,
you know,
and if Micheál Martin brings in restrictions, he's actually going to end up going to the gig. It'll be a wheelchair boxing.
If he brings in restrictions, I'm going up to Dublin looking for him. I'm going to do a vlog of my travels.
Swing by this way, the two of us will go.
Yeah. We both jump in wheelchairs and we kick him to death. Well, not kick him to death, punch him to death in the middle of Phoenix.
I'll do the kicking.
Yeah.
You were on the. We won't keep you much longer, Steve. You were, because I know that you're going up to Dublin in the morning. You were on the Late Late Show.
Yeah, that was a weird experience.
Yeah,
I see that you came across very well on the Late Late Show. It was very good.
It was a nerve-wracking. It was I suppose, to put everything you had kind of hidden in your life and tried not to talk about, to go on to the biggest talk show on a national audience and tell them, basically, you know, and I didn't know how it came across, so I went back to the hotel after we watched it, and I kept saying to Roxy, like, how did that come across? Because she was obviously watching at the side, and she was like, it's grand, and then it's shown, and then fucking hell, my phone went mental in with tweets, Instagram ads and messages, emails. The only two people I talked to really on the phone were my dad when he rang, and Thomas Laffey, who was John's son, who unfortunately died of that. So they're the only people I thought were deserving of. Because it was overwhelming, and it was emotionally overwhelming. I was drained. I wasn't great for. I was like, obviously, I was a bit down a dump for a while after it, because you're kind of.
I remember watching it, and then I was going to WhatsApp. I was going to send you a voicemail, and I just thought to myself, there's nothing. Firstly, I said you'd have thousands of messages anyway, and secondly, I thought to myself, there's nothing I could say that would do the interview justice. And anyone that doesn't know Steve, that's watching this, go, if you can find the
be on the RT player, I'd say. It was a very much like you really went and bared your soul, which must be so difficult in an empty room talking to Ryan Tubridy.
It's probably hard talking to Ryan Tubridy at the best times.
Yeah.
No, I just remember, like, I didn't have like anything in my head, or I didn't have, you know, what I was going to talk about, but I knew that I had a few ideas in my head, and I knew I wouldn't be swayed from that. In the interview, I say once or twice, like, well, as I was saying earlier, because I wanted to get a few things out. I wanted to get out the bit about basically the feeling of being socially kind of a bit of a social outcast, and the feeling of helplessness, of being very, very badly depressed and suffering from anxiety as a teenager, and feeling different, and looking at everyone and seeing them, you know, being basically envious of someone who could walk into a shop and not look for escape exits. You know what I mean? So, like, I used to dream about that. I used to dream about, imagine going into town on a bus and not feeling trapped. You know what I mean? Most people don't like, in most people's lives, that's not a fantasy they want to reach. That's normality. So I wanted to get across that. I wanted to, I suppose, you know, bare my soul, I suppose. And I'm kind of glad I did it, because, you know, a thing like that is an awful possibility of backfiring. If you come across as inauthentic, or if you come across as fucking woe is me, or wanting self-pity, or wanting to excuse yourself, you can fucking backfire terribly. And that's the thing I didn't want to happen, not only for me, but for the Laffey family and for my family. And so I'm thankful that didn't happen. I had a few gobshites, like, all right, they're always going to.
You're going to get them anyway.
But the vast majority were positive.
No, you came across very, very genuine and honest.
Very honest.
You came across very well and very articulate as well. And even though Ryan Tubridy was interviewing you, you did well. Like, you know what I mean? But listen, you were talking about anxiety there. I'll ask you this question before you go. Have you any advice for a young fella that's suffering from anxiety now watching this? Because we have a lot of male fans, we got a lot of female fans, and a lot of people texting the page looking for advice. Have you any advice for somebody grown up now?
My advice, you have to be awfully careful with advice, because a lot of people message me in the last, like, what meds are you on and stuff. And I'd never go down the road telling, because we're so individual. We're individuals. And sure, I was on different things when I was a teenager that didn't work for death, but I'm on them now. And they're brilliant. You know what I mean?
And they're working now, yeah.
So I'd always say, like, reach out to someone nearest and dearest. If you can't do that, then just ask your GP. Go to your GP. You know, ask them. I talk to a lot of people a lot of teenagers that can't go access certain things because they're under the age, but they're terrified to tell their parents, or their parents know, and just, you know, go to the gym or grow up or be a man about it. So they're stuck in that phase where they can't seek help on their own without their parents knowing. You know what I mean? So they, you know, they can't go down on their own accord without their parents' parental.
Maybe instead of giving advice to these young people, we should be trying to give advice to parents.
Yeah. To listen to them, listen to your young fella, listen to your young one. You know, be a shoulder for them, and don't be so fucking judgmental, and don't do that thing. But we're all guilty of it, looking down at them and going, "Arisha, you've nothing to be worrying about." You know, because you don't pay bills, or because you know what I mean. And we're all guilty of that. Like, I'd even do it to myself, to my younger brothers. And I said, "What have you to be worried about?" And I'm like, "Jesus Christ, I'm doing it. Like, I'm doing what's done to me." You know what I mean? And we need to snap out of that and listen to them. You know what I mean? And advise them in a thoughtful way and in an understanding way. And then you can slap them across the back of the head. You know?
Any advice on to Paddy Barnes on how to get out of this fight?
Just I don't know, crash on the way down from Belfast or something, or one-way ticket to Kabul airport.
Might be a safer place than Galway on September 11th.
I might be going there yet, I'm telling you.
Listen, the elephant in the room is McGregor. Any word from him?
He will be taking part in the second show. We're going to have a second one. He said the end of November, December, so he's in.
And so, will that be for the Wheelchair Association again?
Yeah. From my side, maybe he'll want to add a co-charity. But he said he's happy with the IWA for the time being. So, and like, we've already been approached by people from the 3 Arena and stuff. So it's probably going to be extraordinary. He said he has cool things planned. We don't know what he has planned, but look, when he gets back from the States, we'll make contact.
And if you pull this off, it is like, you have to admire the achievement of getting someone like that, or even this one is such an achievement.
And to have an Olympian in the ring with you is
that sounded terribly euphemistic there.
That makes you happy.
Yeah, take an Olympian in the ring. You did, I'd say.
So listen,
look, as any Irishman, I'm terribly shy of compliments. When someone says nice things, you're like, all right, you know, you just, you know,
the Irish way
to do. And look, as I always am with myself, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm looking at the GoFundMe and I'm disappointed that I'm not on 50 grand or I'm not on 60 grand. But that disappointment, in a way, keeps me driven,
motivated.
You know,
that's
all I'm saying. Keep always be eternally disappointed with yourself, because it'll make you strive for greatness.
You know what? You're 100% right. And do you know what? Now that when I'm struggling with something, or something's not going right in my head, I think I look for inspiration in all the shitty things that might have happened in my life, and I try and anger myself into propelling myself to do better.
Yeah.
Like, always be appreciative of what you've done, but never settle either. Never settle for what you've done. You can always do that little bit better.
Use life experiences as fuel.
Yeah.
To get to that next level, or to be better at the level you're at, or, you know, so be it. Like.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
100%.
Great. Guys, there's going to be a link for the in the description for the Just Giving.
Yeah.
So, make sure you.
Your microphone is contish.
Oh. Go on. I don't know what's going on.
Talking to Steve's one.
I don't know what's going on with the mics today. Can you hear me now? No, but guys, there's going to be a link for the Just Giving page below this description. So give a couple of pounds for the Irish Wheelchair Association and tune into the stream for when Steve goes and boxes Paddy Barnes.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. You're a legend, and like I said, it's breaking my heart not to be there because of the All Ireland, but I'm definitely there for the second one.
So look, as far as I know, because of all the interest that's been in this, like it'll have to be an annual event.
Yeah,
you know,
brilliant.
so
Brilliant.
There'll always be another one.
Yeah, indeed. And I hope you raise a shitload of money for it.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much for coming on the podcast. We appreciate it.
No problem at all, lads. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
Good luck, man.
Guys, thank you so much for watching the episode. Apologies about the quality of my mic. It was absolutely atrocious. I'll have it fixed for the next episode, so I will. So don't worry about that. As you can see, I'm struggling here with a colossal hangover, trying to block out the world from my eyes. Big thanks to Steveo Timothy, absolute legend. Best of luck next week with the fight, guys. There's a description for there's a link in the description down below. Make sure you jump onto that and throw a few pound his way if you can. Like and subscribe. Chat to you in the next one.